Boom shakalaka, what's going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love, and today's episode I'm filming in Amsterdam at this little cafe because the shitty Airbnb I stayed at, the Wi-Fi is not working, so we will make it here. But in this video, what I'm going to be talking about is why I think this pump right here is actually just a test by large institutions to see how much they can manipulate the price, how much they can drive the price up. And so what I'm going to show you in this video is exactly how much Bitcoin institutions own right now and how much dominance they have over the market and how they can actually manipulate the price so much so that when they actually drive the price up in late 2019 or late 2020 or 2021, they'll be able to actually make an absolute killing. So we're going to get into all that stuff in a second, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the videos. This video and every other video brought to you by the Monarch Wallet. You can hold over 1,900 cryptocurrencies. Also, you can earn interest up to 10% per year on your cryptocurrencies, and it's the safest cold storage. So let's get into stuff today. And I apologize for the loud noise, but you know, it's what I've got to work with for today. Now, here's what's going on. So right now, total Bitcoins in circulation, 17.8 million, which means there's not that many left to go because there's only 21 million Bitcoin out there. All right, and what we have going on right now, large institutions like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, they're buying up 21% of the new Bitcoin supply. Cash App, they're buying 10% of the new Bitcoin that are mined. Well, guess what? After the halvening in May 2020, that's going to be almost 60% of new Bitcoin being bought by large institutions. But there's more. You know, we have these large whales, institutions buying up a ton of Bitcoin when the price dips. Okay, another investor wants to buy 25% of Bitcoin's circulating supply, and we all know there was this report that came out a few months back about how firms, large institutions, are buying up all of the Bitcoin. It turns out that firm-sized Bitcoin addresses now own more than 26% of the circulating Bitcoin supply. So that's going on, but also there's Bitcoin that hasn't moved in a while. So 60% of the Bitcoin hasn't moved in a year. 36% is said to be lost, which by this estimate would be like 6 million Bitcoin. There's another article that says 5 million Bitcoin. I've heard 4 million Bitcoin, but anywhere between 4 and 6 million Bitcoin could be lost, 23% held by speculators. So there's a whole bunch of different statistics out there, but you guys know I like math, you guys know I like science, you guys know I like to do that. I don't know what the hell it means, but so I put together a chart for you, which I'm going to show you in a second, about how much dominance institutions actually have. And I'm going to talk with you about how they can use market makers to actually make and break the market and pump the price, causing potentially things like we saw right here. They could have just done this to see, hey, let's see if we can pump up the market. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to show you exactly why. But first, we're going to talk about how much Bitcoin there is. So we know that there's 5 million Bitcoin that are lost. We're just going to say 5 million because that's between 4 and 6. All right. So that means that in circulation we have 12.8 million Bitcoin. Now, from those articles I was looking at, institutions own about 3.3 million of them, and speculators about 9.5 million of them. So just what's in circulation, institutions own about a quarter of what's out there. Maybe more, maybe less, but about a quarter. Now, furthermore, there's a lot of Bitcoin that haven't moved in a year. So that's 10.7 million Bitcoin haven't moved in a year. So that means the actual circulation isn't 12.8 million, it's actually 7.1 million Bitcoin. Now take a look at this. Most institutions haven't been in for over a year. I mean, really, they started getting interested the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, which is like a year ago, maybe a year and a half. So institutions right now potentially own almost half of the actual Bitcoin in circulation. Now that's not all. You see, to be mined, there's 3.2 million Bitcoin left, of which institutions are buying up 60% of that, 1.9 billion Bitcoin, speculators 1.3 million Bitcoin. So I'm going to put this into a pie graph for you. I didn't use the actual circulation. I used this circulation here just to maybe make it a little bit more realistic, not show total dominance by institutions, but let's take a look at that. If we take a look at this chart in red here, this is the amount of Bitcoin that's lost, 23.8%. Okay, almost a quarter of the Bitcoin lost, gone, forever, not to be seen again. Even if Satoshi came back with his million Bitcoin, wouldn't make a difference. Okay, then we have the speculators. Okay, so right now, and Again, these are rough estimates, but speculators right now have about 45% of the Bitcoin out there. Now, these are people who are early investors in Bitcoin. These are people who got in the past few years. But basically, everybody who's not a large institution, they own about 45% of Bitcoin. To be mined, the speculators can expect to get another 6.2 million, which would mean that about half of the total supply of Bitcoin is owned by speculators, not owned by institutions. But if we take a look at this in the blue here is very important. Right now, institutions own 15.7% of Bitcoin. But guess what? After the Bitcoin to be mined, they're going to own about 25% of Bitcoin. And this is actually pretty important because right now they own a quarter of the market. And actually, if we take out what's lost, they own a third of the market. And guess what? Institutional investors are freaking smart. Go watch Wall Street or go watch Wolf of Wall Street or go watch any of those videos and you'll see how they just manipulate prices. So there's this article here, how big players manipulate the stock market. And Jim Cramer, he's pretty popular on CNBC or whatever, he described how he could push stocks higher or lower with as little as $5 million in capital when he was running his hedge fund. As little as $5 million in capital. Really, to pump the prices of Bitcoin and cause something like this, it doesn't require that large of an investment. And what happens is the price starts going up, and then people FOMO in, and the price goes up higher, and they FOMO in higher, and then there's just this whole feeding frenzy. And this can all be manipulated by institutions, which is why I think this right here is just a test to see how easy it is to manipulate the markets. Because as of right now, institutions pay millions and millions of dollars in fines because they're manipulating regulated markets, but Bitcoin is unregulated, so they don't have to worry about that. So guys, that is why I think the big players, the institutions out there, are manipulating the market, because right now they own 25% of Bitcoin. It's freaking crazy. And actually a third. They own 33% if you don't count what's lost, which is absolutely freaking nuts. So anyways, what does this mean in the long term? Well, I actually think it's a good thing. Okay, because guess what? Institutions are buying up all the Bitcoin right now. Yeah, boo-hoo. I already own some Bitcoin. I'm sure you do too. But here's the thing. They're just testing it now. They're going to drive the price up so much higher, $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. And guess what? That's going to allow some of us to retire, which is awesome for being an early investor. So obviously, hodl your Bitcoin. Hold it in the Monarch wallet. You can right now earn over 6.1% annual interest on your Bitcoin for holding it securely in that wallet. Also, if you want to get into trading, learn how to trade, get daily trading signals, check out Signal Profits. There's a link down in the description. You get 2 weeks for $7, and you can regularly get 10 to 30% returns. So thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you later. Again, make sure you subscribe, like, all that stuff. Sorry for the audio quality. You got to work with what you got every once in a while. I'll make it work. Within about a week or so, things will be ironed out. All right, love you guys. Catch you later. Peace.